Well, howdy, and welcome back to the channel. This is Matthew Pisgatti checking in from the DFW, Dallas, Texas area, of course, because that is where I reside. Here's hoping if DRIP continues on the way it is currently, we'll all be on the beaches in a year or so. But look at this. Look at this. If you haven't seen it yet, this is the DRIP price that you see on the screen, just taking a huge step upward from where it was. Relatively, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge pump, obviously. I mean, it's just a few hours in, but still exciting whenever we see these green candles working their way up. Always improves sentiment for the moment, regardless of the reasoning for the pump or what's going on or why. You see all these, fear of missing out, the FOMO down below. You got all the buys that start rushing in as everyone starts to think, hey, maybe this is it. Maybe we're on the ride up to the moon. We all got to hop in. You can see we're trending number 3. It was number 1 earlier on Dex Tools. So a lot of positivity there. And of course that snowballs upward on this upward momentum, just more fuel for the rocket ship, goes up, up, up. And we like to see that. That's exciting. Now, obviously, all the caveats are there, meaning this may not be the pump. You know, the animal farm isn't fully live yet. We're still waiting on dogs. We're waiting on a few things to roll out. That'll be happening throughout the next couple months. But any positive price action is really good, really bullish before that, because that means that even with the current sentiment, the current market that we're looking at, which of course it's a bear market across the board, we got prices going through the roof on gas and housing and everything else. Everything costs more. Packages of food are getting smaller, everything's costing more, and people are having a hard time of it. No wonder all the markets are on a downward trend in a lot of cases. But here we have DRIP making a little pump today, so that's exciting. Now, it's exciting right before the farm, because if we have this pump, let's say we get up to, a 15, a 20, whatever we get up to, and then the farm fully goes live, and then maybe a month and a half, 2 months later, we get scratch tickets, maybe sooner, the scratch-off tickets that the developer's working on. Forex Shark, he's been talking about those, sharing screenshots. If we get that, and we already have this upward price action, that's all really exciting. Obviously, if you have faith in a system, these are the times all the way down that you would have been dollar cost averaging. If you like the whole ecosystem, if you like where it's going, and you have faith that it's going to make that return and it's going to start heading back up, then obviously all the way along the way, if you had been able to afford it, you might have been dollar cost averaging. If you haven't been, the people who are waiting for the absolute bottom, that's where you get a lot of this fear of missing out here, where people start buying in rapidly, which is good to see it. It causes the price to trend upward exponentially very quickly, which is nice to see. Like I say, it's exciting, but we always want to make sure we don't get way ahead of ourselves. If we zoom out all the way, let's throw this back on like a 12-hour. You can go look at my previous videos. This is the line I drew a long time ago, because this is some of the bottom we hit previously. It hit about 650. It hasn't been below that. I said I wouldn't be surprised if we dipped near that area. So, who knows if this is the actual pump we're waiting for. We'll see if we get above some of these previous resistances. And remember that we did travel kind of horizontally here. We had a little pump, traveled a bit horizontally. We saw that here. We saw that back here on around 30. Yeah, a couple times around 30, around this 16, 15 point. So, that'll probably be a point we have to break through to see if we can actually get through that 15, 16 again. That'll probably be one of the determining factors to really know if we're going to keep pushing past that. But again, because even if this does drop back down, because of the farm about to be fully live again, and we never really got to see what happened with that, get it off the ground, because that wasn't ever live, even if this dips back down, back under the 10, 9, back down to 650 even, whatever, we're still waiting for that farm to go fully live. So we still have that huge bullish price action, which is going to bring in a lot more people. Those scratch-off tickets, people love to gamble, and DRIP is an existing system that even if it was floating around $2, $3, it's been running for a year. It has that longevity. It hadn't bottomed out at that point in this hypothetical that I'm kind of throwing out here. The scratch-off tickets would still be very attractive. Scratch-off tickets would be attractive. The farm would still be attractive to be in. It would just have a lower buy-in price, kind of like the DRIP Garden right now. If we go over and look at the DRIP Garden, what are plants down to? Plants are like 4 cents right now. And remember, a lot of that is controlled by the LP. Some of it is controlled by the LP price. So when you see drip start to pump, and if drip pumps, this is exactly what I've been talking about for a little while. Here's the contract balance. You're going to see the contract balance go upward. People will start putting more back into things like the garden. Even if the plant costs 0.0001 of a cent, that just means people are going to be able to buy 2 million plants when they get in instead of 1,000, but they're still going to go into it because the compounding it's all percentage based, right? It still gains over time if we're doing nothing but compounding, and if these other conditions are met, if the contract balance is steady or increasing, and if the LP is at least steady, hopefully increasing, and you can see it kind of ticking upward here as well. You know, I can see that even on my own, I was at about $16 equivalent per day, and now I'm up to 17 because of that little pump and drip. And that's all it takes. So those of you who've been compounding in the garden regularly, I know your chart doesn't look like mine. I have a lot of referrals in the background that I can't fully view. That's not an easy way to view those in the garden. I know that I have referrals in there. That's why mine climbs a little quicker, I think, than most people's here. But I have been seeing more positive action, even just in the last few days, from people in the DRIP Garden Telegram chat saying, you know, oh, we're seeing a little bit less decay, or the decay was on par. And so that's what's going to happen. If we get this big drip pump, that's what's going to happen. We're going to see positivity in the garden, which means we get more YouTubers promoting it because they don't feel bad promoting something that looks kind of crappy. You know, and I'm the same way. I did a lot of videos in the garden at the beginning because it was looking really great. But I don't want to promote something if the feedback is negative, that people aren't seeing the same growth that I'm seeing. So that's what happens when I'm talking about sentiment. When we see this start to turn around, when we see these pumps start to happen, even if this isn't the pump, it's still exciting because it does turn sentiment around to a degree, and you start getting people promoting things that they hadn't been, which means all those thousands and thousands of people who are coming into the DeFi space, decentralized finance, crypto, who weren't originally, they buy into these things. And I don't mean buy in the negative term as in, you know, you're buying into something that someone's selling that's a scam or something. I mean, they buy in. They add capital, which adds contract balance, which helps everyone who's already in the system. And that cycle just keeps continuing because remember all the transaction fees for everything in the farm when that gets rolled out, any new partnerships that Forex Shark, the developer, is going to roll out, all those transaction fees and taxes, the whale taxes, depending on how much you have in there. It all goes back. It all goes back into the tax vaults and things that pay out DRIP as our rewards, and that's what adds that longevity. That's what keeps the system running. You know, if you haven't been into the reservoir, remember that helps solidify the price. We've been seeing a lot of good action there. People are actually putting more BNB into the reservoir. Remember, you get BNB rewards back out, so it's kind of a worthy thing to go into just to solidify your DRIP investment floor price. Help add that floor price and solidify that, and then you know, just also get rewards. The more BNB you have in here, the more passive rewards you get back as well. So, and I'm not a huge bag holder. We know that. I'm not hiding that. I've got about 15 DRIP in here. Got about 6 referrals. Only 2 of those I actually got any referral bonus from, just because I didn't have the BRIP that I needed. So I'm slowly building my team. I hope, you know, if you've been following along this journey, or if you're new to DRIP and you want to hop in, I'd love to have you on the team. I'm going to start doing some more airdrops here, especially when this positive price action continues or when it starts going up. I don't have a huge bag here, so, you know, I'll maybe just toss 1 or 2 DRIP out now and then to random people, just airdrop, kind of like a lottery system. But I'm excited to start doing that. I haven't really been able to. So I will probably do that on a separate video, just because I'm excited to even, you know, airdrop 1 DRIP. It makes me feel like a real team lead, like I can finally start actually paying you guys back, anyone who's joined the team. I'm excited for that. So who did just jump in? See how much they tossed in. It's always good to see. Yeah, they threw 4 DRIP in, so that's the thing. People are going to start hopping in here as this starts popping off more and more. So it's exciting to see the increase, even though we don't want to let it get away from us or ahead of ourselves. You know, from 9 to 10, that's still a big jump. Or over here on the native decks, we're seeing we were chilling around. You know, where was this? This is still the 8th. So 8th. Today, yeah, we were about 984. We jumped up to almost 12. It's already almost up to 12 on the native DEX. A lot of people buy through here because they remember they don't have the same 10%. They don't get that tax levied on it, whereas you do on something like Pancake Swap. But all these buys and sells here aren't even really reflecting the native DEX as far as I'm aware. So there's even more buys going in than just this. You know, we're actually looking at two different places. This one is reflecting its own, if I am using all of that terminology correctly, if I'm understanding appropriately. If not, someone correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so it's exciting. Just jumping up here in price. You get that fear of missing out. You get the sentiment increasing. And hopefully a lot more people pulling into DRIP that had kind of backed away or who had sold off. You know, they are going to be piling back in because they realize that, hey, this is still viable. It's still holding its own after over a year of running. There's like hardly any other projects or ecosystems in the DeFi space that can say that they're still paying out, that they're still rewarding after over a year. So all incredibly exciting, really good news. If you haven't signed up yet, contact for any information on that in the Telegram group. I always link that in the video description below. You can join our Telegram for any help or assistance. We can always direct you to another Telegram group with people smarter than me if none of the people in our group can help. You know, thanks for watching. If you like and subscribe, that's always helpful. It shows me that you appreciate the content, and I'll keep making more. But I mainly wanted to get this video out pretty quickly so that anyone who doesn't follow the DEX tools or doesn't have any price alerts set up, I want to make sure that you see or are made aware that DRIP is, you know, on a tear so that you don't have that miss out. If you had been waiting for a bottom, here's at least a bottom. We don't know if it is the bottom or if, you know, we're not going to fall back down a little bit. But still, it looks like a good opportunity, a good time to go ahead and hop in with a little more that you hadn't already. I'm going to add more to my faucet so I can keep compounding. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity for all of that. Apologize for the slight rambling here. This was not a prepared video. I want to get this out to make sure that you guys know it's you know, DRIP is on the rise for the moment. If you were waiting for some type of bottom, even a miniature bottom, this is what we're doing here. We're already up to 1025 on the DEX Tools site, and we got a lot of buys coming in. So, you know, don't miss out if you were looking for some type of, you know, entry point. At the same time, don't get overexcited. We could still drop back down. But there's still a lot of bullish news coming down the pipeline, so I'm still excited. I still have faith in this ecosystem as a whole, that it's going to, you know, go places that it hasn't been before. So I'm going to put more into the faucet and kind of just dollar cost average down and buy more here. So that's my plan. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support and subscribers. And whoever just signed up under my DRIP referral link, you're awesome. Thank you. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks.